Yes, now we are live at social media also.
Thank you. Thank you for joining in for today's session on Masterclass in AI-based Pharma Marketing. I'm Swati, your host for today. And we have with us PharmaState Academy team, speakers from industry and Multiplier AI team also for this particular session. Thank you, Zena. Thank you, Vivek sir, for joining us from PharmaState Academy. Thank you, Vikram, for collaborating with us for this session at the start itself. And thank you, Ms. Sita and Ms. Rinkesh for being our speakers for today. Thank you, participants, for joining and welcoming everyone who are watching us live through our media handles also at Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'll just take 5 minutes to do the formality of this at the start, and we will directly move towards the topic, which is of prime importance given the dynamics of pharma industry that are changing now after digital came in, and it has and its adoption is happening. Well, again, I'll repeat the topic. Today, we are going to discuss and give you insights through a masterclass in artificial intelligence-based pharma marketing. Hi, Shekhar. If I am audible, please, someone can help me if I'm audible.
Yes, you are, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So if anyone is facing any issues with the audio, kindly try to rejoin or change the microphone that you are using. Well, after a lot of sessions that we did with pharmaceutical professionals, we could see a need gap, that is doctor profiling and integration of profiling with your campaigns. That is one major problem that a pharma marketer or even a medical affairs professional in pharma company needs to solve. And for this purpose, we joined hands with one of the service providers. Thank you. And for this purpose, we joined hands with one of the service providers in this domain, that is Multiplier AI Solutions. And thank you, Vikram, for giving us this opportunity to host you and other speakers on this. At the start itself, let me ask everyone who is watching us to be there for these 90 minutes, because there is an offer which we are going to provide first 100 marketeers in pharma, digital strategy and brand teams. They have to fill up the feedback form, which will be provided at the last, and you will get an offer where you will be provided sample detailed doctor profiles and top 5 physician digital influencers of your therapy area by Multiplier AI Solutions. So if you fill up that form, you will get these 2 services for you. At the start, I'll also announce after this session, there is a session going to be held in January 2 with Multiplier AI, where we will go deeper down into the topic. And now, starting with the sessions today, we have speakers from Mankind and 𝗍𝘃𝗶 with us. We have Mr. Rinkesh Shah. Rinkesh Shah is Head Digital Transformation and Marketing Excellence at Mankind Pharma Limited. He has earlier played leadership roles in digital transformation at 𝗍𝘃𝗶 and GSK, an MBA from NMIMS, B Pharma graduate. He is considered a pioneer in multiple digital transformation initiatives, including OTT initiatives in pharma. He has been featured in TOI, ET, The Week, Your Story, and more. Welcome, Mr. Rinkesh.
Thanks, Swati. Thanks for the introduction.
Next speaker, we have Ms. Sita Kaluri, former Associate Director, Digital Transformation, 𝗍𝘃𝗏, the Economic Times Most Promising Tech Marketeer, Top 10 APAC Women Content Champions, CMS Asia, a digital innovator. Sita Kaluri helps businesses optimize digital channels, break the silos of working, and evolve towards digital transformation. Passionate about using technology to solve business problems, Sita has experience in startups and established companies across healthcare, SaaS, and technology. Welcome, Ms. Sita.
Thanks, Swati.
And we have with us 𝗃𝘃𝘀𝘁𝗲, founder, CEO, Multiplier AI Solutions, a global company with multiple products focused on AI and data-driven marketing for pharma. He is MBA from IIM Calcutta and BTech from IIT BHU, with prior experience delivering 100+ data-driven marketing projects for companies like Microsoft and Prudential Health. In India, Multiplier AI works with 18 large pharma brands. Welcome, Vikram.
Thanks, Sid.
And we also have with us Vivek sir and Zena, who would be helping us out in answering many questions. Vivek sir has 50+ years of experience and Zena has 25+ years of experience, bringing in the required mix for a debate or a discussion. So we have the speakers with us. I'm Swati and my throat is bad, so pardon me. In case you are not able to hear something, please let me know. So we are going to start the session and discussion now. And to start with, Vikram, I'd like you to first of all simplify the jargons for all of us. What is meant by artificial intelligence and how important would it be for healthcare in making better decisions, data-driven decisions?
Yeah, I think AI is becoming part of conversation. A lot of time basics are not clear. So I'll just define the 3 most common terms used in AI as a way of defining AI. The terms are artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Okay. So artificial intelligence is about mimicking human intelligence within machines. I'm using very simple definitions so that you can understand. What that means is human intelligence is visual intelligence, audible intelligence, ability to make decisions on is this correct, wrong, is this similar to that. So that is artificial intelligence, very simply mimicking human intelligence for machines. Second is about machine learning. Machine learning is a sub-part of artificial intelligence. You can call it the maths of artificial intelligence. It's about using statistical techniques to be able to achieve the same goals as what artificial intelligence tries to do. What that largely means is you have data set, you use statistics on it to be able to find certain objectives. The third common term used is deep learning. Okay. So deep learning, the simple definition is it is closer to mimicking the human brain in its layout and decision making. So I want to avoid using a buzzword called neural networks or anything, but in simple terms, it is very large data sets which are analyzed in the same logical approach that humans do. So this is AI definition. Okay. Healthcare. I think that's the second part of your question, Dr. Swati.
How important would it be, Vikram, going ahead, seeing the dynamics changing in the healthcare industry, pharma industry, how important this artificial intelligence or deep learning, for that matter, machine learning will become in future?
Okay. So healthcare is probably the most complex industry. And with this entire personalized medicine and all is going to increase in complexity by at least 10,000, 20,000 times. Each of us has 1 billion data points on our DNA. What that means is there's enough of complexity coming into healthcare. Now, if you're looking at personalizing treatment for a patient, and you are looking at using the data that is available with the patient throughout lifetime and all the learning, you will need something beyond normal human intelligence. I'm trying to keep it very, very simple. So the entire personalized medicine or any significant goal in healthcare cannot be achieved without bringing in the latest tool sets that are available. Now I'll go into, this is again a topic where both the speakers and everybody can talk about, but just quick things. If you're looking at drug discovery, you have more number of drugs that are available and less money to be able to bring them to the market. How do you decide that? Would you want to review all the clinical trial data of all the drugs done ever and all the details on written about in prescriptions there? You'll have to use AI. If you have to personalize the treatment, you'll have to use AI. If you have to reduce the cost, which means you want to have everybody wants a doctor anytime they want, but the number of doctors in India is limited. So you want to be able to give answers at a lower cost, lower diagnostic cost, you'll have to automate tasks. That's where AI comes in. I'm trying to simplify and keep the topic focused. And within marketing, which is what I think the core theme of where you want to wow the physician. What are we all trying to achieve? You want to wow the physician every time via every channel, whether it is the rep or anybody else. And that is only possible if you are able to personalize things. And how would you personalize? You will need to consume every possible data set to be able to deliver better. So that's how the AI in healthcare.
Thank you, Vikram, for making it easy for us to understand these terms and emphasizing on how important it would be going ahead. And this brings us to a question which I would invite Mr. Rinkesh to just help us with. This may be before even we met, prepared for this session, we were thinking of putting or not putting this question. But with Mr. Rinkesh being there and done that, I would put this question to you. There is so much emphasis on the digital post-COVID. But is it really working post-COVID, where we see that things are coming back to, offline, physical mode of interactions? The companies have medical reps going to doctors day in and day out. So how do you see this? Is it really working for companies?
So good morning, Swati, and good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay. So Swati, I think it's a very interesting question, as I said. Post-COVID or pre-COVID, I think, frankly, things haven't changed much. We were talking about using digital before COVID also, and we are talking about it after COVID also. Okay, only thing which has changed is that during COVID, a certain set of audience have tried to use certain digital tools, channels, or ways of working, and they have actually experienced it. Okay, that's what has happened with pharma in general. Now, what has happened also is that we have done some tactical stuff, like a lot of webinars were happening during COVID times, and we tried to say that we have gone digital. Okay, we have sent some emails and we have said that we have gone digital. So I think that has happened pre-COVID also, during COVID also, it's happening now also. So I don't think so. Industry has changed a bit, during those COVID times. But what
Mr. Rinkesh,
I can essentially say.
Hello, Mr. Rinkesh, I'll really sorry to cut you here. We are getting echo from your system. If you're logging in for two systems, please.
Yeah, I think it is due to iPad. Yeah, you can mute. Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yes, it is clear.
Okay. So what I would say is that I don't think so. The world of pharma has changed pre-COVID, during COVID, or post-COVID. A bit of experiences have happened with a lot of audiences by using a few tools and few channels. So I think the world has not changed for pharma. As skeptical we were before COVID, we are still skeptical as of today. And that's the reason why I get such questions that does digital work? Okay. I think what we need to realize is that we should lay down our objectives pretty clearly. Okay. If you're looking at digital to work and get you business, okay, lay down that as an objective and see if you're doing enough to get business. And if you are looking at digital as an improved customer experience channel, or customer experience as an objective, just focus on the fact that have you improved customer experience. Or you can say that, okay, digital is for an objective of reducing cost, okay, then see that have you been able to reduce cost. So what people don't realize is that, people end of the day try and look at sales or a business as an outcome, which is okay to do. Digital can get you that also. But if you're looking that as an objective, just ensure that you have laid down the processes to achieve that properly, and you ensure that you put in enough effort towards it. So again, also to give you an example, if you say that, okay, I'm adding 100 people field force to get me an X crore of turnover by the end of the year and 5-year projection, so on and so forth. What we also do is we set up an HR team for it. We set up a training team for it. We set up a marketing team for it. We spend month on month trying to improve efficiencies of the field team, establish processes for it. We consistently put interventions. But what I see is people go ahead, do digital once a month and say that it's working or not working. Okay. So please clearly define your objective. If sales is an objective, have a long-term journey. Neither in the physical world you put in an effort today and you get an outcome tomorrow. Neither will you get that in digital. Okay. So define your objectives and chase it. But having said that, Swati, I don't think the world of pharma has changed. It's still skeptical as it used to be. It still goes ahead and do digital for the sake of doing without defining things. I think if those mindsets change, I think a lot of people will be more braver in terms of adopting to digital. The capacity and audacity of going digital will increase, and I think that's needed.
Yeah. Thank you, Rinkesh, for putting this forward. Yes, that is what has been our experience also. So in almost every session, this question comes in, that whatever initiatives you tell, are they effective? Can't they be done by MRs only? So thank you for clearing that out. Your objectives have to be clear, whether you are going hybridizing the model, physical plus digital, or going digital or going physical in your approach. Thank you so much. For the benefit of the audience, our Zoom handle has the capacity to handle only 500 participants. If you are not getting the link or getting kicked out of this session, please watch us at YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And thank you for reaching this number. Thank you so much. Next question I will put to Ms. Sita. We have heard Ms. Sita about what is AI and all. Vikram made it clear, and here Rinkesh also made it clear that we will have to change the mindset. I'll put this question about how artificial intelligence and works, and how it can be used in pharma marketing.
Sure, thanks, Swati. So yeah, Vikram has explained about very at the top level about what AI is. Basically, it mimics humans. It can act like us. It can think rationally like us. It basically makes our life much simpler because it's automating all these manual tasks, but at a much higher scale, speed, and precision. AI can be a wonderful tool, in terms of collating different data sets, in terms of transforming the data, getting insights, and recognizing trends and patterns. But there is a caveat here. For AI to work, or even for digital to work, right? Your data has to be good. Because end of the day, garbage in is garbage out. Your quality of output is directly proportional to the kind of data you feed in. So, so when we talk about taking on large-scale digital projects, when we talk about embedding AI into our processes, one of the questions that keeps coming up is how much of data do you need? I think the focus here should be more on not how much, what quantity, but on the quality of data. And today we have quite a few tools in terms of data cleansing, augmentation, right? So I think we should get the basics right first before we go on to experiment on data, on AI. The size of your data set, again, most importantly, depends on what is the complexity of your AI model. Like Rinkesh was saying, be clear on what your objective is. What is the outcome expectation? Most important, who is going to benefit from it all? Because I've seen that when we get into such projects, we suddenly get overwhelmed with data. We get too caught up in the data trap and take on too many things, right? So My advice would be, let's solve for, not solve for too many things, take up only those initially, small use cases that bring in attractive business outcomes that can show value. Because as Rinkesh and the others were also speaking, right? Today, for us to prove digital work, or we need an AI sort of an engine to augment our marketing efforts, right? We need to still prove and show value. So my advice is to start small, take on only those use cases initially that actually can show true value. The golden rule that applies here would be pick up the urgent first, important next, and then go creative. So basically solve for the important problems that can show immediate benefits, and then you can leave room for some creativity as well. AI has made wonders, has shown some wonders in other industries. Pharma has been little laggard in this, and I think we are catching up. True, there is a mindset shift that's required here, right? And that happens gradually. It wouldn't be an overnight thing. Maybe COVID to an extent has accelerated the mindset shift, but not definitely in terms of achieving things, right? It does take time. But what's more encouraging to see is pharma companies investing on digital, having dedicated digital teams to kind of bring out a holistic view, and understand how we can leverage digital in our day-to-day business processes. Yeah. So I think if you ask me how AI works in pharma marketing, AI has many use cases, but since you're talking on marketing, one of the biggest use cases that I can talk about is in enhancing the customer journey. You and I know how we bombard doctors with across multiple channels, different times. There are different teams and departments reaching out to him. It could be the brand marketers, the sales, the medical reps. Then we have a medical team, and then we have a separate digital team also reaching out to them. So problems, each one of us is out there doing fantastic job, but what happens is each doctor interaction is a data point, and unfortunately, all of this data is trapped in silos, right? We need an engine like an AI to collate all of this data, right? And collate the data, segment your doctors. We need to see how can we identify trends and patterns. How can we get a 360-degree view, because now we have the whole data at one place. How can we anticipate the next move of the doctor and then plan a next best action, make automated decisions? So these are certain ways in which AI can help. One of the biggest problems that AI is solving for marketers is, and that's not just for pharma, is how to cut through the noise. How do we stay relevant? I think this is a challenge that all of us are facing too, right? So AI can be a powerful tool if done right to build differentiated experiences in an undifferentiated market.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Seetha. And this brings me to the next question. Vikram, I'd like you to add to this answer that Seetha gave. At the start of the session itself, the two I would say, examples of how AI is helping in pharma marketing is doctor profiling and a WhatsApp campaign engine. So Vikram, I would like you to just quickly let us know what is meant by data profiling and WhatsApp campaign engine.
Sure. So doctor profiling is about being able to get more data about a large number of clinicians so that you can select which clinicians to target. The bigger problem you're trying to solve is who, what, and how. Okay. So for who, you have two problems. One is at a macro level, which doctors to select, because in India, in tier 3 and a lot of tier 2, a lot of doctors who are not in the specialization are treating the patients. So that's the first thing that is. Second is about how do you define the profile? I can show a quick slide on the how an ideal profile comes in, if that's okay.
Yes, Vikram, please share with us the problem statement here first.
Okay, so it's about how can AI help marketing better? You want us to share, or we can come to that later?
Please share the slide. What doctor
fine.
profiling means. Yeah.
Yeah, so just 2 slides. Okay. First is right now, why do it? Okay. So I don't think across the industry, we have too many examples of selecting a channel for a physician, even marking a physician as digital or a face-to-face. Second is within digital, how does the clinician want to reach? Second is right message, right time. And I'll just go, there's a whole bunch of things. I'll not take away on the time for other speakers, but you're wanting to develop segments, target, personalize. You want a profile which tells you for each clinician, okay, one, an actionable profile, which means this clinician falls into this segment, next 3 months is likely to churn or is likely to increase prescriptions. AI is about prediction, right? So far industry is working on past. You want to be able to say that next 3 months, how do you want to segment the clinicians so that you can focus your energy? Okay. So will this clinician churn? Will the prescriptions go up from this? Which segment is this clinician falling into? What channel they are preferring? What should be message 1, 2, 3, 4? What is the recommended journey that is there? And even the selection of message. I can talk at detail about it, but I think one slide that I would definitely want to show is about the state of the industry. And I don't know, Dr. Swathi, you want that now or later?
If you can show us how data is working, the slide which can tell us what points currently pharma company is gathering data,
Okay.
what data points and what needs to be done. Yeah.
Sure. So this is the current state of the basic data. Okay, within the pharma industry. Okay, the doctor names are either wrong or partial, which means there are close to 9 Dr. 𝗁𝘂𝘀𝘁𝗁 who are GPs in Hyderabad. And if you have entered Dr. 𝗁𝘂𝘀𝘁𝗁 GP Hyderabad, the phone number may be of one person, the address may be of another person, or whatever. That's the state of it. Short forms, which means the names are incomplete, initialized, or not being able to identify fully. Phone numbers, very high percentage of invalid numbers. The messages or the campaigns are going into junk, or worse, they are going into patients. Email IDs, again, so practice location. Okay, doctors typically, and especially in metros, there's an in Bombay, for example, doctors work in multiple corporate hospitals, and typically what happens is there is a cycle that within 2 to 3 years, a lot of clinicians shift between corporate hospitals. So this is the state of the data. We can go into where, but largely what 2 quick things that we would want or we see as abilities to fix. One is you want to be able to fix the data. Okay, for that you need a doctor data platform to just put the product. In that, what you want is to crowdsource your internal data. You want tools to be able to leverage your medical reps to gather the data. Sita had talked about that the base of it is starting with clean data. So are you able to have that program in 6 weeks done, that all the data that your medical reps has gone beyond what is there on the visiting card and is clean, integrated? Second, validate that data, which means you need some monitoring service that once in a quarter has a doctor change location, or worse, expired, or is there an upgrade in the specialization? So that's the second tool set that's there. And third is add that with an external data set where what is possible. Okay, what we have done is built an infinite doctor profiler on top of the Google APIs and others. So that allows you to be able to get over 70 fields for pretty much any doctor that is there online. Okay, what kinds of fields? This is one examples of kinds of fields. What a medical rep can get for you is at best the visiting card. What are information fits into the visiting card and a bit of it. The doctor may not want to sit and tell Have they published something? Have they participated in a conference? Have they done a clinical trial? But when you are doing scientific targeting of doctors, that becomes important. Okay. Digital activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think Vikram, we will be, yeah. If you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear
me,
you. Yeah.
Okay, so let us get into this nitty-gritties in the next few questions, Vikram.
Sure.
And because there will be questions which are related to strategy and the need, let me ask them to Mr. Rinkesh this time. Rinkesh, this question has come up from one of the participants, and this seems very relevant because you have been, at the helm of affairs related to digital transformation at a very big company. So this question seems very apt to be put to you. How to have a seamless transition of information related to doctor profiling in customer journey lifecycle with respect to artificial intelligence between Salesforce, marketing teams, digital marketing teams. I would add to this question that this seamless transition and coordination between these three teams, sales, marketing, and digital marketing, what has been your experience while implementing it, and what are your suggestions when a company takes this initiative to implement such campaigns?
Okay. So first of all, very interesting question. The intent is there, okay, to figure out ways to improve customer experience. I think that's the intent from which this question is coming, and which is a great starting point. Also, don't consider this as a transition. First of all, there is nothing which is going to get transited. Knowledge transfer is not the objective. Consider this as a circle. Consider this as a loop. You know something right now from your historical interactions with the doctor. Basis that, initiate some journeys. Basis the engagement of the doctors and the feedback which they give. Try and loop that back to improve your journeys, improve your content, improve your experience. Okay, so don't consider this as a transition. Consider this as a loop which has to be ongoing on a 24/7 basis. Now, having said that, if I look at it from a use case perspective, okay, and I'll try to keep a very, very simple use case. Let's say a single rep has a 100 MSL, 100 doctors MSL, okay, and typically it's a 20/80 rule. You know that this 20 doctors are going to get you much more business than the other 80. You focus on those 20 separately and 80 separately. On those 20, you focus on giving high value content, or investing more on, let's say, content or services. For those 20, figure out digital tools through which they can be 24/7 available. The reps can be 24/7 available. It should be a click of a button somewhere for a doctor, and he can raise a query to a rep, or he can request a callback to a rep. Okay, one way of doing it. The other 80, what you can do is get them warmed up. So you can enable certain channels of WhatsApp, email, SMS, websites, anything to get them interested in the organization, in the therapy area, in the brand. Okay, you warm them up and then get them into a basket of that 20, make it 21, make it 22 for each rep. Adding 1-2 doctors for each rep is an amazing achievement. When you look at it, a holistic picture. So look at it as a loop. Divide customer segments. Okay, and then try and build journeys and experiences on those bases. I think that's the way to move ahead.
Thank you, Rinkesh. Anything you would like to say on implementation through sales, marketing, and digital marketing teams? How we can make that seamless?
So So this is how it should go. Okay. If there is a digital marketing team, they typically can chart out these journeys. They can say that, okay, in each month there are 2 interaction points to a doctor. Here is how we will add 3 more. Okay. The doctors will, they will chart out the whole journey, saying that, okay, profile A type of doctor will get this 2 content pieces more through these channels. Profile B will get it via this. Sit down on a table, discuss it with marketing team. Okay. And try and perfect and align the journeys. And post that jointly present it to sales team and ensure that the tasks are minimal for sales team. Don't add too much workload for them. Okay. Because every field team has a lot to do. And moment you put in a lot of ask on field team, it doesn't look digital. Okay. It is as good as physical then. So put in an ask for the field team to say that, okay, whenever a doctor responds is when you will need to come in and intervene. And if you have that type of mindset to build things, it will help you, because moment a doctor request is coming in and then you are asking the field to intervene, everyone will be excited, right? It's a customer who is a guy who doesn't need me to saying that, okay, guy is now wanting to talk to me. Okay, so you will immediately find a lot of acceptance of such strategies, such tactics over their side. So first thing first, chart out journeys as digital teams. Second, align it with marketing team. Third, put it forward to the sales team with a mindset that they have to do less. And whenever they do something, they will get high returns, high value out of it.
Awesome. This was a brilliant answer, Rinkesh. Thank you for giving this knowledge to all of us and to all the participants. I would like to hear Vivek sir over this. Vivek sir, if you are there, if you can just give your insights. I loved the point where Rinkesh said that, a sales team should not feel overwhelmed that they have been given more work. Rather, they should be having a feeling that our work would be lesser if digital is working for them.
I totally agree with what Rinkesh has said. But unfortunately, what's happening in the pharma industry is too much of emphasis on the quantity of calls rather than the quality of calls. And what Rinkesh says, we can improve the quality of the calls through artificial intelligence. A doctor asks a question, that medical representatives will go there. The doctor actually calling, inviting a medical representative to meet him. That's something unthinkable today with the kind of traditional marketing which has been going on. That's a very, very important point which Rinkesh has talked about. I really loved it.
Thank you, Vivek sir. Thank you, Rinkesh. And moving to next question, I'll put this to Vikram and Sita jointly. We all are talking about a lot of data here and use of AI. How quickly data gets sold, Vikram, in healthcare? That is one thing I would love to know about. That we talk about, let's take this data and do this campaign for them. But how quickly this gets sold for pharma or for healthcare for that matter?
So 2 things. I think one is it is about being able to run the system more effectively. So it's not about waiting till everything is perfect. So even if your data is 30-40% better than it was, okay, you are achieving your objective. So it's about, the fundamental thing about data-driven marketing or AI marketing is that you are moving beyond gut feel marketing. Okay, कि आज चाय पे ये discuss हुआ and hence we will go and try out this as a digital campaign or whatever. 2, that there is a data that is there that based on which I am segmenting my physicians, and based on which I am reaching to the clinician and learning from that exercise and putting that data back into decision making. So there is enough data. Second is the way we have, the tools are there, which is Google captures 130 fields 20 times a day for all of us, including probably if somebody has an Android phone, words that will be coming in that call. So there is enough live data in the world. So we re-architected our solutions so that we use large amounts of public data, so that if we are running a doctor segmentation now, I will give you information that is brought from Google now. So there is enough fresh data that is available. You don't need to worry about that the data is not fresh enough. Okay, the systems that are newer age are bringing you real-time data, saying this physician has given a comment that is, this physician is outside your list, but is talking very positively about trying to look for certain treatment alternatives close to what the brand intends to. Okay, so that's the quick answer. It's about shifting from gut feel marketing to data-driven marketing, so that your reach goes beyond trying to just go to that same set of doctors to covering a larger pools. Yeah.
If I can just add on, right? I think
Yes,
it's about starting small, start by segmenting with simple demographics, right? I mean, you don't have to have complex systems in place from the beginning itself. You could start as small as differentiating your messaging for tier 1 doctors versus tier 2 doctors, seeing which channels to reach out. Maybe few types of doctors are more comfortable on say WhatsApp, few are more comfortable on email, SMS. So we already have the data. So somehow it's viewed as data is very bogging you down and put, it's work. It's viewed that data is work. I think we need to come out of that mindset. We already have tons of data. If you're already running a website, you have so much of data available over there. You know the customer journey already. So start with what you have, keep enhancing. Data doesn't get outdated or redundant. It keeps getting enriched and enhanced. On the move, keep adding in new attributes, and then refining and fine-tuning your strategy. I think that's how you should go about it.
Right. And I think, Vikram, correct me if I'm wrong, your tools, the tools that are generated through AI for doctor profiling, they are having much more frequency than what MR can do, in a physical format, right?
Yes, it is live, which means the profiling is refreshed every day.
Okay, that is not possible for a pharma company to do with its sales team also. So this is a major, I think, shift that will happen in a company's way of working if they are using AI for their pharma marketing campaigns, if I'm right here.
Could you please tell us, for example, what you said is absolutely correct. If somebody wants, say, a doctor's birthday, or maybe the year which he passed his graduation, or the colleges which he's attached, how do you get that information? How do you gather that information?
Yeah, so we mimic what Google does. So Google is able to pull that information out from about 10 aggregators, the doctor's hospital website. So supposing, I'm so tempted to run this live, but we'll see if there's time. So as a person does on Google search, they will type Dr. 𝘁𝘁𝗫𝗁 oncologist, education. They will talk Dr. 𝘁𝘁𝗫𝗁 affiliations. Google will give 3 pages of search results. Similarly, if you click on YouTube, you'll get some results. Then each of these sites that Google leads to will have their own results associated. So we are pulling out these fields that allow you to segment the doctor, know that which are the doctors who are have a qualification related to diabetes. So that's how it works.
Beautiful, because that will be very, very, very useful in segmenting, targeting, and the position aspect of a brand plan. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, Vivek sir. Thank you,
Vikram. I will just
Vikram.
add, sir has a book in that area. That is one of the good reads on it. Okay.
I'll quickly move towards the next question for putting this to Sita now. Sita, there has been talk about DOLs and KOLs. And we have also been getting a response like, what is DOL? So I would like you to emphasize the difference between digital opinion leaders and key opinion leaders. how do they impact the prescriptions, how to identify the right digital opinion leader. So
Sure.
if you can please elaborate this for us.
Yeah, thanks, Ati. Yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion over DOL, KOL. People try to interchange the words, say that KOLs and DOLs are the same. It's not, at least as on today. Traditionally, our key opinion leaders, KOLs, have been those well-known, reputed doctors, authoritative figures in the therapy area who publish regularly, speak at conferences, right? So KOLs influence publications through peer journal reviews, presentations, etc. And we pharma companies have gone great lengths to, catch hold of them, profile them, build out long-lasting relationships with them. It's a must-have in our marketing strategy, right? Reaching out to KOLs. What slowly started to evolve is the explosion of digital channels and social media, right? It's no different for pharma. The pandemic has accelerated it. Today, most of us are on online channels. Digital is everywhere. It's like gravity. So you see the new age HCPs, doctors, right? They started using digital to engage with peers and patients. That's because they want to be in touch with the digital patient. What's interesting to note is a DOL, a digital opinion leader, is basically an expert in their field who primarily uses digital as a channel to reach the audience. What's important to note here is a DOL need not necessarily be a doctor. It can also be an academician, it can be dietitian. In fact, you see these lifestyle coaches, right? Lifestyle coaches who are present on social media, helping people understand about health, nutrition, right? So now you see that there are experts that we can reach out to who are authoritative figures on the online channels, right? And today, the pharma companies and medical teams have started to expand beyond the traditional KOLs to get to the voice of the people. How do these DOLs impact pharma business? Basically, their reach is much wider. They can voice the unmet needs of patients because they are there where the patients are, right, across channels and very innovative ways. Yeah, I mean, it's not only the formal channels like a LinkedIn. They're present on Twitter. They're even present on Insta. So they get to know the pulse of the customer. They can exactly identify the gaps in the market, and this is something that the pharma companies can capitalize on. How do they influence? They also influence on the behavior change of the patient, right? So prescription behavior change can happen, consumption change can happen. Apart from disseminating scientific information, because they're the trusted leaders, they're also helping in educating peers and patients together, right? So you would find DOLs present on medical forums, having engaging conversations with their peers, and you would also find them on channels like Facebook, educating patients, because it's not uncommon for people to follow certain doctors. It's not uncommon for us to reach out to expert forums, right? You and I going on to expert forums to just check out more about a particular disease or a treatment protocol. So you find doctors doing all these interesting things on different channels. And I think as on today, KOLs and DOLs are different. Eventually, with things going online and a lot of medical activities moving to digital, the line may blur. But today, these two are totally different data sets, and pharma needs to engage with both of them very uniquely and differently. And coming to your last question on how do you identify DOL, I think that's a very important one. It's a very crucial activity because, like they say in social media, not all celebrities are influencers, not all influencers are celebrities. So identify the right one. The fundamental things that I would say we need to keep in mind would be, don't just pick up a list of your famous doctors and then start reaching out to them. That's not how DOL strategy works. Maybe the doctor may be famous, right? Very authoritative, but what if he's not even present on online channels? So for DOL, we need to kind of have a slight shift in thinking. A doctor may have a lot of followers online. It can also mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that he has a lot of engagement, because maybe he's not posting anything. So doctor profiling becomes very important. One of the models that I've seen that works very well when it comes to DOLs, and this is true as in case of an influencer marketing also, is using the reach, resonance, and relevance model. When I say reach, it's about the number of followers that the doctor has. It's basically the influence that he can have on people. Resonance is the engagement, and when I say engagement, it goes beyond likes. It's also about sharing content, about commenting, right? So what is the engagement rate of this doctor? Only reach and resonance shouldn't be enough. What we also need to consider is relevance. How relevant is the doctor? How is his share of voice in the topic that you're looking out for, right? So I think a good combination of reach, relevance, and resonance should be the perfect way to identify your DOL. And then today we have profiling tools available where we're able to identify and then shortlist these doctors. This again is an experimentation, right? So we need to do it right. We need to get the doctors right to actually see the results and benefits.
Thank you, Seetha, for simplifying it for us. There was a confusion. Some people, many of us are in this phase taking DOLs as doctors on list. It is not doctors on list. It is digital opinion leaders. Thank you so much.
May I ask
next?
Here?
Yes, sir.
What I understood, I'm thinking like a medical representative. I'm thinking like a first-line manager. And the question which I'm asking is considering Vivek as a first-line manager. So, as I understand from what you have said, a KOL may not be a DOL, and the digital opinion leader may not necessarily be a key opinion leader, because you may have even the academicians and other kind of doctors. So if I am a medical rep or a first-line manager, whom should I consider more important, a KOL or a DOL? Because what happens, many of the KOLs, they are senior persons and they may not be digital savvy. They may not be on social media. They may not be even on internet. So the question which comes to me as a first-line manager or medical representative, whom should I prioritize, the DOL or the KOL?
If I can take that up. As a medical rep, you would be essentially meeting this person in person, right? And I would still say you should go for the KOL. Now, if we see that this KOL is also a DOL, then that is how we start to influence him, start to reach to him digitally as well. Because given that medical reps mainly have interactions face-to-face, KOL would still be your important stakeholder. Gradually, things will move where this KOL is also shifting to digital, becoming a DOL, and that's when things get much easier for us all.
Okay, thank you.
Swati, could I add to this? Zena here.
Yeah, Zena, please.
So, sir, if I have to answer that question, or add to whatever Seetha has said, I would also like to say that KOL is a doctor whom we have been trying to address for a long time. So these are the list of doctors whom we know. These are the list of doctors who are there in our list, and everybody from the medical rep to his area manager, regional manager, and even HO knows about KOLs, right? Now DOLs are doctors who have recently cropped up. When I say recently, it's as recent as maybe the last 2-3 years, right? So these are the doctors. If you would ask me to segregate, how do you manage these doctors? I would say that KOLs are primarily would be handled by the field, and maybe HO plays a supporting role here. Whereas when it comes to DOLs, the product management could probably take a more active role in managing DOLs for now, like Seetha said, with respect to resonance and with respect to the share of voice he has, with respect to his, how much relevant is he for your current topic and for your brand. And eventually, when the line blurs and the KOL becomes also a DOL, or the DOL also becomes a KOL, that's where things could go hand in hand, and then anybody could take a front seat there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Seetha. Actually, my entire experience has been pharma, and like every other pharma marketer, I'm also very new to AI and ML, and these are new words to me.
No, perfect. I think what you said is right. Yeah.
Thank you, Zena, for adding up. Next question. This again, Rinkesh, pardon me because I am putting all the toughest strategic type of questions to you. And this is again one question which everyone is worried about, that is AI going to replace humans from their jobs? Are MRs and the teams are going to lose their jobs? And the extension of this question, the brand extension of this question would be, where do you see pharma marketing going in the next 10 years or 5 years for that matter?
I have no Elon Musk to answer anything in that regard. Let me be very clear. I don't know, guys like Elon Musk has something in mind and they want to replace every human being on the earth. I don't know. I don't see anyone going anywhere. Okay, I absolutely see the field teams who will not upgrade, upskill, will perish. The CEOs who will not ensure systems are getting upskilled will perish. That is something which I truly believe. Everyone will exist, but everyone will have to add more and more value in the ecosystem, right? Today we are having this call online. We can very well have this physical meeting as well. But if we choose to go physical, the idea will be I have to add 10x the value what I'm adding as a speaker. Similarly, audience should get 10x the value. Only then they will get out of their home from their comfortable pajamas and come and dress in a formal to any physical location. Okay. So idea is to add as much as value as we can. Second, if I want to go more specific into the arena of will people be replaced and things like that. What will happen is that expectations on efficiency will increase. Okay, so lesser time, more value needs to come out of every person. Just to give you an example, if let's say today my medical team spends a lot of time in answering doctor queries. Okay, but what essentially happens, there is one person sitting on second floor, corner A2, and one person sitting on second floor, the corner Q2. Okay, both of them might be working on the same PPT, answering the same query, but they both don't know. Okay, they're doing the same work, and there is a lot of duplication of such work happening in the organization. So what will happen essentially with digital systems and AI and all of that, this duplication of work will reduce and should reduce. And moment that bandwidth of that medical person is free now, he is now having time and mindset to do more quality work, to do more value-oriented work. Okay, now if I give you one more example, today doctors are in need of a lot of content. Okay, a lot of top-notch medical content, news, updates, and all of that. And there is so much content being published across the world. If in a single therapy also, if I take a week, at least 100 scientific articles are getting published. It may be 1,000, to be very frank. If I look at right impact factor journals and all of that, there will be 100 at a bare minimum level in a single therapy. Now, a Dr. Rinkesh, a Dr. Sita, Dr. Swati will has interest on different 1 or 2 articles from that 100 lot. So I think the organization will then start thinking, okay, how can I improve my efficiency in finding the content, finding those 100, ability to select those 2, 3, and then ability to sending the right to Sita, the right to Rinkesh, and the right to Swati. So there will be systems in the ecosystem which will help you find the right content at a at a click, ability to select at a click, and ability to send it at a click. So again, the idea will be to improve the efficiencies over there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rinkesh. So upskill and be relevant in the industry, learn about the various topics. That is the insight for staying relevant in the industry. And awesome. Thank you so much. For anyone, Sita or Vikram or anyone who wants to add to this question answer.
No, I think Rinkesh explained it very well. I think it's the survival of the fittest, and we need to really upskill and stay up to date on how we can use technologies, as an enabler rather than thinking that it's a challenge. I think that would be the mindset that we should have, as field reps, as marketers, not look at AI as a challenge, but how can we put it to our advantage?
Right. Thank you, 𝘁𝘁. Since this session is very, very important for the medical affairs teams and marketing teams, I will now move towards a bit of technical questions which are coming to us also, and which we have framed for Vikram, Sita, and Rinkesh also. Sita, to you, what points to be kept in mind while doing segmentation, targeting, and profiling of doctors? And I'll ask medical affairs professionals to be very vigilant over the discussions that are going to happen in this space now. So I'll again repeat the question, Sita, for you. What points to be kept in mind while doing the segmentation, targeting, and profiling of doctors?
So like I was saying, medical affairs teams have seen need to go beyond the KOL, need to first identify the right KOL. So we put in a lot of efforts in engaging our KOLs and efforts, time, right? So segmenting them right is very important. We need to, and when I say segmenting, you need to understand the doctors who are really good in what therapy and what is the influence score. So we need to see the share of voice of the doctor on and off the channels, not just on the offline world, but also on the digital world. I think segmenting becomes a crucial ingredient in terms of sending him the right message at the right time, because it's not only the medical affairs, but also the other teams that are sending in communication, right? So how can you make it hyper-personalized messaging? That's very, very important to understand. Gather all the data points, not just data points that you as a team have worked on, to build out a holistic journey for the doctor. Profiling again is very important, especially when we're talking about newer concepts like DOL. So get your profile of the doctor correct. Most important for the medical affairs team would be, when we start off on projects such as DOL, would be to exactly know what is the objective of a DOL, because like I was mentioning, a DOL objective and a KOL objective are very different, and we shouldn't get confused. We should be very clear what is the expectation out of a DOL. We should be very clear on what is the outcome we want to build out. Let's say we start off today, after 6 months, what is that we expect to reach over here? Right? If it is a change in mindset of a patient in terms of a certain behavior, right? If it is awareness, we need to be very clear on that, and we can get to that only if we profile the doctors correctly. A doctor who we actually identify as a person who has been keenly interested in that certain topic and is the right kind of guy to be reached out to. Yeah, so I think medical affairs has been doing it. We need to just get a little smarter and combine insights from everywhere to make it a 360-degree view.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sita. So use AI, and the data should be up to date, real time with whatever you're collecting. And I think now I'll ask most of the questions to Vikram, because now you will have to tell us, Vikram, how your services are working. What about the WhatsApp engine, campaign engine that you want to talk about? What about the doctor profiling? Vikram, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. So I'll talk about two things. One is a full doctor profiling platform. I'll just share screen. And I think, so these are the two products. A doctor profiling platform allows you to be able to clean up your internal data, get external data sources available for the industry. So, which means you can, everything from setting up alerts to which doctor has some achievement, award, recognition, and others. I'll take very little time on this. We've already talked about this. The reason for, so this is one, it is an end-to-end software, and we've kind of built a Google for your MRs, medical affairs, and marketing teams, where they can enter the name of the doctor. It will collate all information And it will allow you to be able to ask questions. Which doctors will likely stop prescribing? Which doctors will, there's a potential to increase prescribing. So it's an end-to-end program. Okay. Anybody asking for more information, you can fill the feedback form and ask for it, and we can get on this. But this includes finding the top, module which is about top influencers. Now, I'll just take 1 minute to mention why top digital influencers. Now, in cardiology, we all are in awe of Dr. 𝘁𝘁𝗀𝘁𝗁, Dr. 𝘁𝘁𝘁𝗂𝑉𝑖𝗱𝑇𝑡𝑡, and a lot of the other quality surgeons that are there. Now, there's a Dr. 𝘁𝘃𝗶𝘁𝗁 who gets about 6 to 7 million views per cardiology video, and where he takes the opportunity to mention the name of exact brands, prescription, and others. 6 million views for just reaching across to one influencer and getting your brand in it. Please convince me that that is not something that will scale up your marketing. So get your list of top digital influencers. They are happening. They are happening in influencing other physicians. They are happening in influencing patients in that. So this is one. Second is the WhatsApp scoring engine. I've shared screen. What you want is a wow. When a clinician gets a message, they feel that yes, this message has come, which is talking about something I'm interested in, which is sent at a time that I read. Okay, it's not just sent on a Thursday because digital team or campaign team sits on Thursday and sends out the same thing to everybody. And this will increase your physician response rate by 20 to 25% on an average very easily. This is the lowest hanging fruit. If you are trying to apply segmentation and see whether it works or not, get the physician campaign engine right on WhatsApp, and that is where. Okay, this is basically these three things. The profiling engine allows you to select segments of doctors, which means not just the demographic, psychographic. You can say which are the doctors who are ones that are, I mean, for Sita was saying, start with small experiments, which can be, you can segment by the specialty and others. If you have option to integrate with past prescription data, you can have more complex segments, which are the doctors who are digital and others. Campaign engine includes a bot. What is a bot? If a doctor responds across 90% of the industry, the number one frustration of doctor in any campaign is, I sent a problem back that got lost. So you need a bot for a quick, fast response on your campaign engine. Integration with your existing ecosystem. 20 plus APIs, so it integrates with anything else. And last, and so that it integrates with your workflow. Something has to be routed to the medical rep, something else there. And last is an analytics engine. You are trying to ensure that this adds back to the profile. For example, if a simple question, a clinician who's interested, they are likely to be clicking on every message of yours, seeing that, going to the landing page. Are you using that data to update the profile that this clinician is extremely interested? Why don't we have somebody meet or connect in that? So these are two tools that will help you lead and drive this initiative. And yeah, over to Sita.
Thank you, Vikram, for quickly showing us what these two products can do for the pharmaceutical industry. We will open the forum for questions directly from the participants now. And there are a lot of interesting questions coming in. One question that I would like to ask all three of you, whosoever wants to answer, Rinkesh, Sita, or Vikram. How AI can be used to minimize doctor shopping? Is it working reverse also? So how are you going to, create an engine or something which minimizes doctor shopping? Rinkesh, again a tough question, I think. And you would
I actually didn't understand the question. What do you mean by doctor shopping?
So let me ask Himanshu to come and directly interact with our speakers. How AI can be used to minimize doctor shopping? I don't know.
I mean, what he should go on a Flipkart and shop less. What is doctor shopping? I don't know.
Okay.
I think Satish, he is not in this
Meeting. Okay. Question from many students and graduates who want to join pharma industry. They want to, ask this question time and again. What are the major skill sets that need to be developed in them to enter pharma marketing and to be relevant for the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, so let me maybe attempt that. To enter pharma marketing, be relevant, I think couple of traits and then couple of skills are required, right? So if you are a graduate today, doing a B Pharm or something like that, what are your routes of getting into pharma marketing? One is simple, straightforward, and probably the best route, which is take a sales career, do it for a year or two. And then in the same organization, try and shift to the marketing role. If the skills are still a lack, try and do a management course, an MBA or something like that, and then try and enter the marketing. Those are traditional ways of doing stuff. Another ways of doing the same things is that there are a lot of partner ecosystem today, right? So like Vikram is running a beautiful company. Similarly, there are various other organizations who serve pharma marketing teams. Take up jobs over there, and from there, there's an easy channel way into the pharma marketing role. Keep hustling towards that, and you can get into the pharma marketing. When it comes to what skills are required, I think be an entrepreneurial mindset is what I would say, because an entrepreneur always tries to identify a real problem and tries to solve it. Don't be a startup entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur. धंधे वाला आदमी प्रॉब्लम ढूंढता है, उसमें बिजनेस ढूंढता है और रेवेन्यू बनाता है. To be that mindset, I think that is very much needed. Get your basics of marketing right. Pick up any Kotler and just read through it. So get your basics of marketing right. A lot of online courses are today available, which are free in nature, even from platforms like Stanford and Harvard and all of that. There's so many free courses available on YouTube. Just go ahead and take up something and learn and keep honing your skills. And last will be 2 internships. If you're early stage in your career, call as many industry folks as you can, and ask them for some projects. Do a paid one, do an unpaid one, doesn't matter much, because even the paid ones are not going to change your life. But the work and the experience which you get and the connections which you make can possibly change your life. So try and do those few things is what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you for guiding all the fresher students and all who joined here.
One cannot forget the learning sections from PharmaState Academy. I think it should be made mandatory by many of the universities to attend the classes run by the master classes like the one which you're having now, to learn about the skills which are required. We cannot forget PharmaState Academy.
Thank you so much, Vivek sir. Yes, at PharmaState Academy, we have the courses. We bring you regular knowledge sessions. I'll put this next question to Ms. Sita. How a KOL can be influenced to become a DOL? And what is the difference between DOL and social media influencers?
How KOL can become a DOL? First, identify whether the KOL indeed can be a DOL. Go through his social profile, go through his activity on online world. And when I say activity, not just on your social platforms like Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn, but also on the medical forums, right? So is he the guy who is also engaging on medical forums, driving conversations. That becomes a very key attribute. If he's not, but you know that in the offline world he's done a lot, I think we need to show value to him, to show why he needs to get there, because that is where the customer base is, right? So unlike earlier where a patient had to essentially come to a clinic to understand more about a disease, a treatment protocol, today patients are looking out for various channels. So given that doctors are very passionate in educating, drawing awareness, I think the passion is already there. What we need to convince him is the why he needs to do it. It does seem time consuming because that essentially is not his core area, right? To keep posting about something. So he may need some help in terms of what channels to go after. You would see that certain KOLs, for example, are heavily on Twitter, and then certain are only on Facebook. Some people are talking in regional languages, and that also works for him. So identify what works for the KOL. Not necessarily that he has to go all out across all channels. Just because I'm a digital opinion leader doesn't mean that I have to be there in every other channel. Identify what best works for him, and then get him to start posting more, engaging more, because it's not about the number of channels or the number of followers only. It's also about the engagement he's able to draw. Once he sees real success, right? That is when, once he sees that he's actually adding some kind of a value, right? That's when he starts to maybe expand, start putting out on other channels, and he'll actually enjoy the whole process.
Yeah, thank you, Seetha, for answering that. Vikram, there are a lot of questions on technical aspect of your projects coming in. I'll put two of these to you. Is there a way to fully automate the pharma selling business digital with a minimal or no need of field force? Is it possible? And
so let me put it this way. There is a set of doctors that you do not cover at all. Okay. So for those physicians, you want to do a dipstick to find or have some structured approach. The technical term is develop a model to be able to find which of those should you target. And if you're not reaching them anyway, you might as well reach them purely digitally with some basic awareness and other information. Second, other extreme, fully replacing the medical rep for doctors who do not want to meet and want to meet in digital channels, and contrast that with doctors who only want face-to-face, who do not want to discuss. So it's a tool. It cannot be applied as a silver bullet to anything. Figure out the business objective. If your business objective is building awareness, you can find out who are the 500 digital influencers in your area and push content to them. If your objective is with an individual clinician being able to take the relationship to a next level via the medical rep, you can still augment that data and make that more detailed.
Okay, next question again to you. For getting this activity successful, does Pharma PMT team needs to share their list with Multiplier AI to get behavior of their targeted doctors, which will be screened and validated?
So no, in most cases, the list is smaller enough. It depends on the models. We have something that can be selectively validated. For example, we are very particular, any information that is not needed, we ourselves at the start itself define that please do not. For example, we don't need the prescription behavior of the clinicians, right? So you can mark it out that for this set of clinicians, I don't have this data, and I need to find out which are the others in that specialty. Okay. So it can be anything varied between a selective information to a full data addition.
Okay. I'll add to this. I know that we are running short of time, but I still want to add to this. See, in pharma marketing, we have a couple of challenges where, we would definitely need to go digital. And one of those challenges is not being able to cover all geographies and not being able to cover all specialties. So for example, if I'm a pharma marketing head and I have a brand which is, say, promoted to gastroenterologists, probably in addition to gastros, I can cover some GPs and CPs. But there's a large chunk, even in geographies where I'm covering, I'm not able to cover all the doctors. So I think these are two classical scenarios where a totally digital outlook is looked for, where our field force is not able to go. So it could be tier 2, tier 3 cities where the field force is not able to go, or even cities like Bombay where our field force is not able to cover the entire blanket of doctor sets which are available for all important specialties. So that is where I believe digital has a very great, very important role to play, where a physical reach is not possible. Having said that, the second question, or ye hamesha hi aata hai Swati, because it always talks about the confidence, would we have to share our doctor list with an external party? What would happen? Then our data is out to somebody else, etc. Now, when you're looking at the situation where you're not meeting a doctor geographically at all, I think that question never arises ki I am sharing my doctor list. So here is a list of doctors which my field force is meeting, and is a separate list of doctors which my field force is not meeting and which is being handled digitally by somebody. So I think that also solves the query of my data, I don't want to share my data, or I don't want my data to go to any other party or agency.
I think very valid data points, Dr. Swati. If you allow, I'll just add, I think one more, and this is legal, more for it. There is a data protection. So if doctor profiling, you don't do it in this quarter, you may not get the chance to do it as easily. Let me put it as simply as that. So the data protection bill will get passed sometime in the summer. And that mandatorily requires consent for all the data gathering. So if you start the initiative now, it won't be retroactive applicable. So that's one reason why, even if you may choose to do it with some doctors, areas that you don't cover, this is probably the most critical 3 months to be able to do it.
Wow. So I'll reiterate that for the participants who are listening to us. Vikram told us that there's a Data Protection Act bill that is going to be passed within next 3 months, hopefully. And if you are aiming to do something through AI data and all, it is the right time to approach the right service providers to do such sort of campaigns. Right, Vikram?
Yes, I'll just add one small line. The penalty under the act and under the proposed bill is either 15 crores or 4% of the revenue of the company. So if compliance comes to you objecting to your activities, please understand how they will come and object if 4% of the revenue of the company is at stake. So doctor profiling is the base of pharma marketing. Drop everything, get that right as soon as possible. A lot of your brand plans will fail because you will not be able to execute them without clear sign-offs and consent and everything else. Okay.
Thank you, Vikram, for giving us this clarity right on time so that companies can, accelerate their campaigns related to these two services. One question I'll ask, and then I'll open the session for direct Q&A. How can AI focus on clinicians, segmenting them through which data sets? Is it done manually, or it takes data from online ecosystem analyzing prescription pattern? And do we have any use case for it? With respect to large data sets, can we have mass customization solution which is much more effective than one size fits all approach and simpler to implement than a personalized solution? Will this be helpful, and can AI do it effectively? Vikram, again to you.
Sorry, there's a network issue. I missed the first part of the question.
Sorry for network issue at my side. This is a very specific question. I'll send this to you, Vikram, and you can reply to the person.
Yeah.
Right?
Fine.
And I think we are close to closing this session. We'll take up one or two interactions directly from the participants. So, Satish, if we can enable participants to interact with the speakers. A request to all the participants, please take your name first, put the question in simplest and quickest way possible, and let that be a question rather than a discussion.
Yeah, so let us take Mr. Aditya Verma. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
You want to
can
ask
your
something?
question?
No, sir.
Okay.
Mr.
So, Mr.
𝘃𝘃𝘁𝗃. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Vikramji, you said this is a very valid point for taking the data of the doctor profile. It is a prime concern when we want to build up the pharma sales and sales growth factors. And it will convert into the KOL to DOL, and Sita madam also has told is a very valid. The KOL convert into the DOL, which the doctor wants to be the more digitalized their practice. They will utilize of this AI. It is a very valid and very thankful and grateful to you for your valid suggestions.
Yeah, thanks.
So request to ask the question only because we have paucity of time. So Mr. 𝘍𝘁𝘀𝘁𝗍𝘂𝘁.
I'll just take the name once again and then move to the next participant. Mr.
Yeah.
𝘍𝘁𝘀𝘁, if you want to ask some question.
Okay, Mr. Praveen Raj, let's take your question. Do you want to ask anything?
Yeah. There is a struggle in unmuting because, okay, getting to the point. What are the core parameters that you consider when you profile an SCP from the medical standpoint? Because I know from the MR, the medical representative, but from the medical affairs standpoint, what are the core parameters that you consider to profile SCP?
Okay.
Yeah, I think I can just take a base. Any of the other co-panelists are experienced, but I think it's objective based, right? If you have a scientific objective, probably you are trying to propagate information, build awareness. So whatever is the scientific objective, the medical affairs team would probably be more looking at that, and accordingly the profile data would be captured.
Thanks, Vikram. So I think Vikram is saying as per the campaign objective, it should be done.
Sure. Thank you. One more point I thought I'll add it up. Where there was a question which Mr. Vikram was trying to put across, that you profile HCP from the Google standpoint about the qualification or the date of passing or the specific dates. Possibly, I would try to add up a point here is that the Google would give you a lot of information, but not for all the doctors. For example, the key doctor, like Dr. Naresh Tegan, it might be able to give you. But if a doctor who is in the other doctors, possibly Google may not give. Possibly, we might consider about the MCA website or NMC or the PubMed, which could able to give the specific parameters of a SCP, who is more focused about the publications, the details, etc. All that possible. I would add a point here. Thank you very much.
Yes, that is already part of the solution. We cannot explicitly discuss on the forum. Okay.
Okay. So Mr. Praveen, your suggestion is already included in the solution. Thank you so much for interacting. There's a lot of good questions coming. This question I'll directly put to Rinkesh and for answering. Can AI be used for patient education campaign also? Can we get useful analytics?
So I mean, okay, let's look at patient education. What you need to do patient education? You need to first get the right content, right? So as I said, there will be systems available who can find the right content. There's a lot of content published already out there. So just find it, select it and send it. That's one part of patient education, right? The second part is if you want to do doctor-led patient education, so maybe profile the doctor who are interested in doing patient education, and the guys who are interested, give them the content which you would have picked up from the AI, give it to them, and go ahead and do the patient education bit. When it comes to analytics, it is so I mean over there it is a lot of AI ML kind of things which will come in large data sets. Analysis is possible today, right? So let's say if you want a sales trend over a period of last 5 years in UP, how has a brand performed? In which month which month the brand performs better compared to the other months. Last 5 years sales trend, you just have an analysis of it and say that, okay, in Jan I will need much more stock as compared to a Feb or a December, because the last 5-year trend shows that, okay, this is how the sales trends look like. So you can use those type of analytics as well. And those are predictive analytics, so to say. So yeah, a lot of these things, at each place with different objectives in mind, 100% AI can be used.
Thank you, Rikesh. Thank you for answering this. There's a request for doing a session on data privacy bill after it gets passed, Vikram. So, okay.
I think
we'll
it
do
is
that.
to do it before it gets passed, because after a lot of restrictions will come and a series of sessions will be needed.
Thanks, Vikram.
Yeah,
We will
Mr.
take a
Bilal.
few questions, but Satish, before that, for speakers, if you have limited time, I thank you at this time because it's almost 90 minutes now. If you want to stay in and interact, please stay in. If you have other engagements, thanks from our side and thanks from all the participants.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Swati. Thanks Sita.
Sir, my question is, I have a question, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Please do that.
Sir, should I speak in Urdu? Sir, basically, basically, sir, जहाँ हम डिजिटल्स की बात कर रहे हैं, तो हमारे यहाँ जो फार्मास्यूटिकल्स कंपनीज इसको जो इंसेंटिवाइज कर देती हैं, तो इसका मिसयूज भी हमें देखने को नजर आ रहा है. तो इस चीज को कैसे एआई और ये चीजें रोक सकती हैं?
आप सेल्स इंसेंटिव्स की बात कर रहे हो?
जी सर, एग्जैक्टली.
तो देखो, सेल्स इंसेंटिव इज लार्ज डेटा क्रंचिंग एक्सरसाइज. करेक्ट मी, मतलब यही होता है, राइट? आपने टारगेट सही सेट किए है एंड देन हैव यू क्रंच द डेटा करेक्टली. तो आइडिया ये है कि, और मैं वापस वही एग्जांपल पे जाऊंगा जो मैंने अभी दिया था, कि 5 सेल का डेटा सेट देख लो, उसको एआई मॉडलिंग में डाल दो और एक सिंपल डैशबोर्ड बना लो कि भाई क्या टारगेट होना चाहिए, किस रीजन में हर एक बंदे की क्या प्रोडक्टिविटी होनी चाहिए. अब ये 2-3 ऑब्जेक्टिव दे दो, कोई भी डेटा मॉडलिंग का बंदा ना आपको ये निकाल के दे देगा कि भाई ये नंबर्स क्या होने चाहिए. तो आपको टारगेट सेटिंग में हेल्प हो गई सबसे पहले. सेकेंड इज जो इंसेंटिव्स है वो करंट सेल्स ट्रेंड पे आते हैं. तो आप जो सेल्स का डेटा है वो आप क्रॉस चेक करते हो इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेकेंडरी सेल्स और प्राइमरी सेल्स से, राइट? सो अगेन once you put that into the system and along with, let's say, invoices and everything can be uploaded in a single system, and a lot of OCR technology available होती है, which is basically optical reader, जिससे आप ये सारा क्रॉस वेरिफिकेशन भी कर सकते हो कि जो सिस्टम में डेटा गया है वो सही है कि नहीं. एंड आई थिंक ये दोनों से आप काफी सारे आपके ये प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ चेकिंग एंड रीचेकिंग can be solved when it comes to incentive modeling as such. अगर मैंने ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट कर दिया तो प्लीज लेट मी नो, मैं आई ट्राई एंड सिंप्लीफाई इट फर्दर.
जी सर, काइंडली सिंप्लीफाइड. थैंक यू.
So okay, so no, fair enough. So see, देखो, दो चीजें हैं. आप टारगेट बराबर से सेट करो और इंसेंटिव्स के जो नंबर्स है वो क्रॉस चेक करो. ठीक है, तो टारगेट सेटिंग के लिए आप हिस्टोरिकल डेटा देखो. ये मैं बोल रहा हूँ, आप couple of years, depending on how data sets you have, couple of years का data लो और उसमें आप ये वेरिएबल डाल दो कि लास्ट 5 साल के हिसाब से क्या ग्रोथ रेट है, सो इस साल क्या ग्रोथ रेट पे टारगेट सेट कर सकते हैं. एक लेवल ये हो गया. दूसरा लेवल आपका ये है कि आपने इंसेंटिव्स के लिए आपको अगर क्रॉस वेरीफाई करना है डेटा सेट, तो आप बोल दो कि इनवॉइसेस अपलोड करो सिस्टम में और OCR के थ्रू आप ये बिजनेस आया, ये स्टॉक किससे आया, ये सब आप क्रॉस वेरीफाई कर सकते हो. तो टारगेट वर्सेस सेल्स आप क्रॉस वेरिफिकेशन करते हो और ये सिस्टम बेस्ड इंसेंटिव मॉडलिंग हो सकता है आपका, तो आपको मैन्युअल चेक भी ना करना पड़े.
ठीक है सर, clear.
Another
Thank you
supplement
so much.
question which I would like to ask here in relation to जो question पूछा था इसके बारे में. When today people are losing the incentive, are not able to complete the targets. One very senior executive was talking about, and he says that आजकल तो इतना e-commerce का सेल बढ़ गया है और जो भी मैं प्रिस्क्रिप्शन जनरेट करता हूँ वो सारे e-commerce वाले ले जाते हैं. So I don't get credit by my sales.
विवेक जी बहुत सिंपल है ये अगर ये इसका सोल्यूशन भी बहुत सिंपल है. ये मैंने मेरे करियर में किया हुआ भी है. इसमें कुछ ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है नहीं. पिन कोड बेस्ड डेटा मिलता है हमें हर एक ई-कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म से. जितना बिजनेस आ रहा है, आप जो भी ब्रांड का बिजनेस जो भी ई-कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे हो रहा है, कंपनी हैज टू पुट इन द एफर्ट टू गेट दैट इंफॉर्मेशन, ऑब्वियसली पे सम मनी टू दोस गाइस and then credit that sales performance to your field guys. Simple. इतना इंटेंट बताओ, थोड़ा पैसा डालो, एफर्ट डालो, आप वो क्रेडिट कर सकते हो. And this is a very genuine problem for sales, personals, and I completely sympathize, empathize, जो भी word use करना है, बहुत genuine चीज है कि भाई मैं एफर्ट कर रहा हूँ, प्रिस्क्रिप्शन मेरा है, घर जाके वो बंदा ऑर्डर कर लेता है कहीं ऑनलाइन से. So company has to put in the effort to talk to those e-commerce players. Everyone wants to talk to all pharma companies today. Get that data set and credit that sales performance back to those field guys. Simple.
I hope all the VPs and CEOs who are sitting here are listening to Rikesh.
Intent चाहिए, intent होगा तो हो जाएगा.
Intent, that is very important. The intent is more important.
Nice. Thank you, Vivek sir, for asking that question, and Rinkesh for giving us a very, very simple solution. We will take up questions, 2 more questions, and then we will be closing the session. Let me tell you again, before you leave out, there will be another session on the same topic. We can go deep down into this topic again in January. Right, Vikram? So you are with us in January also.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the opportunity.
Let us take up next question from Mr. Bindu Kumar.
So my question is regarding how this digital travel helps for non-metro cities like D category, C category cities.
Vikram, how this solution can help for tier 2, tier 3 cities, right, Bindu? If it is the right question.
Yeah. So I think when you go to a Just-Dial or a 𝘂𝘀𝘁 and search for doctors in 𝘂𝘁𝘁𝗏, you will get close to 800 plus responses. Okay. So the first thing you have to get over is कि data tier 2, tier 3 का online नहीं है. Okay. COVID has ensured that any doctor who wanted to consult patients or be reachable, उसने किसी ना किसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे डाला हुआ है, चाहे वो अपने क्लिनिक की वेबसाइट पे डाला हुआ है या फिर they have put it on their profile on Practo, Just-Dial, Google, M-Fine, wherever. Okay, so that is one part of it. The second part is about how do you scrape and make it useful. That will depend upon your objective, and for each objective we can accordingly get the data. Okay, to keep the answer short. Okay.
Thank you for answering this, Vikram. It is very relevant for many people listening today. So I also had this confusion that is that data even available, but you clarified clarified
There
that.
are 10
Mr.
lakh
Shekhar, if you
plus
can interact.
doctors for whom information is available online. I'm just giving you the scale and perspective. How many are genuine, how many are fake is a different question, but that's the number of doctors for which we are able to profile easily.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Shekhar?
Yeah, thank you for giving me time to ask a question. My question is to Vikram sir that as sir said that now for 3 months from now there will be an act that will come into force, and when we won't be able to more customize our solution to the certain doctors. Can he elaborate more on that? What exactly that act means?
The Data Protection Act, Vikram.
Yeah,
Data
so
protection
what
exactly.
in simple terms, it means you have to get the consent of the physician before capturing the data. In more so that is where, so systems will change, but all that we are saying is now you don't have that headache of approvals and everybody signing off. First 3-4 months there'll be a slowdown, just like NMC came in and there was a slowdown. Okay, so what you need to just worry about is ki consent should be there, and anything you can roll out now, okay, do that now, because it's not a retroactive act कि आपने 1995 में कुछ किया था उसके लिए you can be penalized. Yeah.
We'll also hold that session, so we will park these questions for that session. Mr. Akash, please.
Yeah, my question is to Mr. Vikram. You said that you drive the data from Google, but like if a MR or marketing manager wants to extract data from Google, is the data updated? Like example, if it is the Medical Council of Maharashtra, the doctor name is before marriage. So and the practicing name is different. So data what resembles in Medical Council or in such organization is the earlier data. So is the data updated? That's my question to Mr. Vikram.
Yeah, very good question. Yeah. A lot of the core capability of the engine is in cleaning the data. So for example, what you have correctly put, ki Medical Council mein the name was different than now. So over time, as we've been delivering this, we have built in the learning so that you have something that gives you a score that this data is likely to be accurate. So in a very simple way, if you're doing it manually, you will say कि ये number जो है, ये doctor का name registration number के against ये doctor का name अभी ये आ रहा है Practo के site पे, Just Dial के site पे और 4 और sites पे. Hence, for that registration number, that is there.
Absolutely, because almost 30 to 35% of the data is we through this is not correct or is not validated rather, because what I mean to say ki we correct data through mobile, through address, and which keeps on updating. Even the material surname which was initially during the registration of the doctor or taking the degree, and the practicing name. So that gives a lot of I mean to say a lot of incorrect data as well. So that what you said is, yes, it's a ongoing process, but that requires actually to be, because otherwise the campaign what we are going and then gets, I hope
yeah, so that is an important part in the product. We give the proof associated with the fields, so okay, it is fully validatable and reliable.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vikram.
Thank you, Mr. Akash. And before we move ahead with questions, which I think Vikram would be very happy to answer, I would like to thank both the speakers, Mr. Rinkesh and Ms. Seetha, for joining us today. Ms. Seetha for taking the pain to join us from UK at a very odd time. Thank you so much. That's and right. Rinkesh for answering all the tough, very strategic questions. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Participants, please stay put. You can ask questions to Vikram related to the profiling and all. Thank you, Seetha.
Yeah, thanks, Seetha. Okay.
Mr. Mohammed Asim.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
If you want to ask a question.
Yeah. Yes. I have 2-3 questions. I want to know that you are focusing on the AI-based pharma marketing, but I want to know that it will be not the partiality with the consumer and doctor's data.
See, it won't be. It will save time because today a medical rep may know the product very well and show up without
Yes.
knowing anything about the doctor. So the doctor may be
Yes.
very particular that I only meet people pre-clinic hours. And the
Okay.
doctor
Okay.
does not want to repeat this to everybody. So
Okay.
an exceptional medical rep will take the time to find out what day time is suitable. Doctor introvert and extrovert hai, scientific knowledge seeker hai. Okay, so these are simple ways. Okay, so very capable one will go and see कि उनका वीडियो किसने स्पॉन्सर किया था, उनके नेटवर्क में और कौन से डॉक्टर्स हैं जो उन्होंने उनके एस्पिरेशंस साइंटिफिकली क्या हैं. Okay. So it helps save time for the clinician and everybody, both sides. Without personalization, it's a waste of time for both the patient and the doctor. कि patient को आप diabetes का health checkup offer दी जा रहे हैं, उसी जगह वो the patient is let's say having a critical illness or is having some severe disease. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for answering that, Vikram. Can we move to the next question from Prarit? Prarit, please unmute.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations to PharmaState Academy for such an interactive session on the AI multiplier. It is the first of kind session I have seen in the pharma domain. My question is what is the potential of the AI in next 5 years, and what are the skill sets or courses in short term we have done so we will acing our skills in this domain?
So first is, I think, PharmaState, please go through the website of PharmaState. They have got material which will take you years to be able to go through that. They've got tons of courses, and I think they have covered courses that are similar. Second, to come to the AI portion of it. So it is a change in mindset to be data driven. So let us keep the word AI aside. It's about data driven. And the aim is you should be able to be 3 to 5 times more effective. आप आज की तारीख में, let's say your reach is to reach across 5,000 clinicians who are prescribing whatever is a diabetic related. But in tier 2, tier 3, there is a lot of GPs and others. So how would you be able these tools will allow you to be able to actively track, manage this 25,000, so you can make the pool of 5,000 doctors dynamic depending on who else you think has higher prescription potential. Tools you need to do, take a business objective that aligns with your current work. For that, just pick the data that will be useful. Define the problem you are trying to solve. आपको अगर चाहिए है that your response rate from the physician should go up, okay? Or you want to, if you are meeting, depending on your role, you are dealing with, let's say, 20 clinicians, okay? Profile them, okay? See how that impacts your next engagement with the clinician. You will come back and say, profile me these 70 fields, I need these 10 only, and I need these 3, and I need to merge it with prescription data and call or visit data. Okay, so that's the simple way. Enough courses are there online. If you Google, you'll search, and I think the way PharmaState is growing, they'll have campuses doing that soon. So
Thanks,
that's, yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Prarit, for asking this.
Thanks, ma'am.
There's a very interesting question before we take up the next question, and I'll take 10 more minutes of yours, Vikram, for this session. What is the main or a key point which is most different in AI marketing than a traditional marketing done by humans? Basically, what is the key need of AI marketing when humans-based marketing is doing well?
Yeah, so time bandwidth, I have not seen anybody within the pharma industry sitting idle. Okay, medical rep wants to cover more doctors, be available 24/7. Brand managers are pretty much packed. Digital team, strategy team, there is no time, and I'm sure Zina can give some good points on it. I'll leave this question. There are both. We did not use the opportunity to leverage sir and Zina. I think I'll let them handle the question.
Okay, so I'll take the first shot at it, before Vivek sir adds his pearls of wisdom. See, there was nothing wrong.
Zina, your voice is low.
Very low.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's try to understand some facts first. Okay. For the last more than maybe 50 years, pharma has been going the traditional way, which has been human-based marketing, sales, which has happened, right? There was nothing wrong with that. Companies have succeeded, fortunes have been made by this, right? But just because you're not doing anything wrong doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing anything right also. And I think the time has come where we need to take that leap of faith, saying that digital has an equal say in our marketing or in our sales as much as maybe traditional marketing does. So the first thing that I would always advise every marketer, whether he's in a junior position, mid-level or senior position, is that take that leap of faith. Okay, digital or AI or data-driven marketing is no more a side dish. It is very much a part of the main plate, as much important as traditional marketing is. The second would be to understand. I think सबसे बड़ा challenge marketers, and I think Vikram would be facing this day in and day out, is we don't understand digital marketing. There are some of us who feel that I have sent mass emails to doctors and I have gone digital, or I have sent bulk SMS to doctors and I have gone digital, or I have a Facebook page dedicated to a friend and I have gone digital. I think the first question that each one of us need to introspect is, how much do I really understand digital or AI based marketing, and what it can do for me to benefit me in my current job profile or in the future job that I'm looking at, the future positions that I'm looking at. I think if those two questions are answered, then you will never ask the question like, would I go for traditional, would I go for digital, is digital more important, is traditional more important? No, they don't replace each other, they walk side by side. And I think that there are a lot of companies who have adopted this hybrid approach where they are giving equal importance to both, and a lot of campaigns would have been successful. I'm sure Vikram would have a lot of success stories wherever he has executed projects for his company.
I'll just add one use case. See, the expectation of 24/7 availability and fast response. People are today wanting ki abhi answer chahiye and nahi mila to unhappy, and physicians have that same expectations. Now AI has a technology called bots. Digital is about ki bana diya dabba, intelligence is where AI is coming in. So the doctor ke paas agar aap ek bot de rahe ho, the bot has to have the best of the company's ability to answer the question. That cannot come in without AI. It should understand the language, which is NLP. Okay. It should be able to choose from a set of answers and be able to respond back. Second is, it should be able to route. Okay. All of these are technologies which are part of the AI stack. Okay. So AI marketing is a whole tool set about bringing human level intelligence, or let's say beyond human level intelligence, to everything that we are doing.
Thank you, Vikram, for answering. Thank you, Zina, for adding. Vivek sir, would you like to add something to the response?
And I think both of them replied really well.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Abhishek, you can ask the next question.
Am I audible?
Yes.
My question was like to Vikram sir. So like when you are dealing with your customers or clients, so what are the common challenges or typical challenges you have come across? Like this is a very new thing for a very traditional industry. So what are the challenges or typical challenges you have come across? And also I'd like to know, like when you're implementing or executing these strategies, so like do you go for an agile approach or a waterfall approach? Like it's also a buzzword nowadays in implementing these things.
So one, our core thing has been, so the name of the company is Multiplier AI because we believe we have to get ROI. So for us, selling is how the customers would want that for a particular set of 2,500 clinicians in the country, we have delivered a certain unusual amount of ROI. Okay. So that's about the selling part of it. So it has to align to what the buyer wants. It is not about if we are going and selling them something which is a NLP, they will say कि बस इसमें फायदा क्या, मुझे क्या useful है. If you are selling them a problem कि I will reduce your churn, or I'll get NLP is more about reading and responding to answers, they will understand that. Okay. Second question is more about software project management. So it's more a company practice part of it, but Agile is closer to the software delivery that most of the younger companies do. Okay.
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you for answering. Mr. Vinay Kumar.
Yeah. Yeah, good afternoon to each and everyone. This is Vinay Kumar Pulluru from Hyderabad. I have gone through all the messages and continuously participating in the last sessions. One question, because it's a startup organization, is if I wanted to take on board AI intelligence, so vis-a-vis the cost or expenditure as compared to the traditional field force.
So here I go against most norms. Okay, my approach is so cleaning. I'll just the costs are not very similar from a digital project. I'm just trying to hold myself back. My conventional belief is to be transparent on pricing, but it's not very different. And only thing you have to do is to look at the ROI, solve the problem that you get return on.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vinay. Ms. Mohini.
Yes. Good afternoon, ma'am, and all. My name is Mohini Jadhav from Kolhapur. Sir, actually my question is that now we are मतलब फार्मेसी में हम जो सीख रहे हैं या सिखा रहे हैं वो सभी ओल्ड सिलेबस है. तो हमको ये पूछना है कि मतलब इंजीनियरिंग और मेडिकल स्टूडेंट इनका जो नॉलेज है वो हम AIML और इसका यूज करके पेशेंट रिकवरी कैसे फास्ट हो सकती है, और मतलब डॉक्टर और पेशेंट इनका जो रिलेशन है वो कैसे फास्ट हो सकता है, इसका मतलब मुझे एक्चुअली माय क्वेश्चन समझ में नहीं आएगा, लेकिन मुझे पूछना है कि AIML का ऐसा कौन सी ब्रांच आने वाली है कि जो हम नए स्टूडेंट को सिखा सकते हैं, और मतलब हमको क्या अपडेट करना चाहिए, हमें नॉलेज क्या लेना चाहिए. Thank you,
Vivek sir and Zena, I will
Vivek
put
sir is
this
smiling.
question to you. Yes, the syllabus is quite old. Yeah.
So I thought it's a googly for Vikram, because how will he change the syllabus for pharma or engineering people? But then it's true.
Zena, your voice is again low. Low voice.
Better now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying that, Mohini, what you have pointed out is a very valid fact, and it's a sad but true truth today that that most of the syllabus of B.Pharm or engineering or any other course for that matter is sadly outdated, and the importance or the relevance of AI in today's world has not been really catered to. But having said that, I'm sure there are a number of courses which are available online from different prestigious universities which offer AI based marketing. I'm sure Swati is also making a point that AI based marketing should have more sessions and more masterclasses involved, because this is the key to the future. And let's hope that somewhere down the line your books also have a chapter or two eventually in pharma marketing, in AI marketing, and the number of chapters increase over time.
So PharmaState should integrate with campuses, and Vivek says books should also be in the curriculum. Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And now we will have to close because it's now
So I think
close to
this is
2
the
hours.
last question. Let us take Mr. Nemaraj. Last question.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is good afternoon, sir, everyone. Sir, which are the positive AI is covering, sir? Hello.
Yeah, once again the question is not very clear.
Yeah. Which are the segment is a positive covering for the artificial intelligence is a very important to me. Others.
So if I can understand, you're asking which are the segments
No,
where
sir.
AI is
No,
important.
which are the segment is a covering in the artificial intelligence. Main focus to the department wise. They suppose using for the engineering department, another one is a mechanical oriented and the pharmaceutical oriented. Which are the segment is a covering to the main focus?
Can you write that question in the chat box, Mr. Nemaraj? We are not getting your accent or something.
So are you asking by department?
Ma'am, I am asking for the department wise. What is the AI mean artificial intelligence is covering from the which are the department is the main focus?
All departments. In the base level of AI is about automating tasks. So anywhere there's an administrative task, for example, doctor entering data, or a health insurance data, so that data has to be validated. So there has to be some intelligence needed in that. There is administrative data. A lot of problem in healthcare is the waiting time and the patient reaching the right doctor earlier. So
okay, sir, these are all is okay, but is a database will be available in the every time, sir?
You don't need a perfect data to start. It is about being better than where we were.
Someone is a regularly visit to the doctors, other doctor will meet now. What are the data is a different segment is meet now?
So I understand those are more detailed questions. You can write and we'll support.
Yeah,
that's
sir,
why
you can fill the feedback form. In that there is an option to connect with Multiplier AI.
Okay, fine,
the team
sir.
will
Fine, sir.
connect with you on one-to-one basis, and then you can discuss. Right?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Nemaraj.
ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
And now we will have to close the session. It's 2 hours that we asked for from your Sunday, and you gave us. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be bringing up more sessions for all the participants. Thank you, Vikram, for patiently listening and answering each and every question that was asked to you and making it simple for us to understand AI.
Thanks, Dr. Swati. Thanks, Vivek sir.
And Dr. Swati, there was an announcement you made regarding those
Yes.
Yeah, can you just inform so that people can fill the feedback form?
So those who want to avail an offer from Multiplier AI regarding data profiling and getting DOLs, please fill up the form, feedback form, and we will forward these to Vikram for giving it to you. This will be available for the first 100 forms that we receive. So the first 100 pharma marketeers or people who are filling up this form will get the service from Multiplier AI.
Yeah, so I have posted this form in the chat box. You can simply click on the chat box link and then you can move out of the meeting and fill that form.
Yeah. Thank you, Satish. Thank you, Vivek sir and Zena for joining us and interacting with all the speakers and participants. Wishing you all a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.